She was the maid of honor at my wedding, the godmother to my only daughter, and my closest confidant for over 20 years. I trusted Sarah with the keys to my home, the passwords to my life, and the deepest secrets of my soul. I thought we were sisters by choice. But while I was working 16-hour days to build my architectural firm, Sarah was busy building a shadow kingdom. Using my credit, my name, and my hard-earned reputation, she bought a $5 million villa while I lived in a modest apartment. She lived a secret life of private jets and designer labels, all funded by the debt she piled on my back. She thought she was a genius of deception, but she forgot that I am the one who designs foundations. I didn't call the police at first. Instead, I decided to buy every single brick of her stolen life. And then, I watched it burn. Welcome to Revenge Insight. This is the story of the identity reclamation. Martha and Sarah met in a university library 22 years ago. Martha was the quiet, disciplined daughter of a carpenter, a girl who understood that anything worth having was built with patience and precision. Sarah was the lightning in the room, charismatic, effortless, and seemingly always connected to the right people. They were opposites who became inseparable. As the years passed, Martha became a celebrated structural architect, known for her integrity and her old money discipline. Sarah became a public relations consultant, a job that relied entirely on who she knew. When Martha's husband passed away 7 years ago, Sarah was the one who slept on her sofa for a month. She held Martha's hand through the funeral and handled the bills when Martha was too paralyzed by grief to move. Out of a profound sense of gratitude and absolute trust, Martha gave Sarah full access to her personal files and estate for emergencies. She even gave Sarah a high-level position at her firm, Sterling Architecture, with a generous salary and a corporate credit card. Martha believed that Sarah was her shield against the cold world. She never imagined that the person holding the shield was also holding a knife behind her back. The betrayal didn't start with a bang. It started with a whisper from a jewelry store in Geneva. Martha was sitting in her office, reviewing the blueprints for a new city museum, when a high-priority notification popped up on her personal laptop. It was a digital receipt for a $25,000 diamond watch, purchased in person at a boutique she had never visited. Martha frowned, assuming it was a clerical error or a sophisticated hacking attempt. She immediately called her bank, only to find herself trapped in a maze of confusion. "We have several Martha Sterlings on file for this account, ma'am," the customer service agent said, his voice sounding robotic and distant. "Which Martha are we speaking to? The one at the Oakwood address? Or the one at the Hillside estate?" Martha's heart skipped a beat. She didn't live at a hillside estate. She lived in a quiet 3-bedroom colonial. As she dug deeper over the next 48 hours, the horror began to unfold. There was a shadow Martha living in the world. This second Martha had an impeccable credit score, a fleet of leased luxury cars, and millions of dollars in loans, all tied to Martha's social security number and original birth certificate. The foundation of Martha's life hadn't just cracked, it had been duplicated. Martha hired a private digital forensic team, men who didn't ask questions as long as the checks cleared. They tracked the shadow Martha's digital footprint to a secluded high-walled estate 3 hours north of the city. Martha drove there on a rainy Tuesday evening, her hands white as she gripped the steering wheel. She parked her modest sedan a block away and waited in the shadows. At exactly 7 p.m., a white Porsche Carrera pulled into the driveway. The driver stepped out, and Martha felt the air leave her lungs as if she had been punched. It was Sarah. But it wasn't the Sarah who came to the office in sensible heels and a modest blouse. This was a woman draped in a floor-length fur coat, dripping in the very diamonds Martha had seen on the receipt. Martha watched as a valet greeted her as Miss Sterling. She watched through the iron gates as Sarah hosted a lavish party for international investors, bragging about her architectural firm's latest billion-dollar project. Sarah wasn't just stealing money. She was wearing Martha's entire life like a costume. The woman Martha called sister was a predator who had been waiting for the right moment to replace her victim entirely. The urge to scream, to run through those gates and tear the diamonds off Sarah's neck, was almost overwhelming. But Martha was an architect. She knew that a structure demolished in a fit of rage leaves a mess, but a structure dismantled with precision leaves nothing but empty space. She drove home in a cold, calculated silence. She spent the rest of the night in her basement office, the one Sarah didn't have the key to, looking at the total debt Sarah had accumulated in Martha's name. It was nearly $4 million. The next morning, Sarah walked into Martha's office with a warm latte and a sympathetic smile. "You look so stressed, Martha," Sarah cooed, her voice sounding like a viper's hiss to Martha's ears. "Why don't you take a long weekend? I can handle the investor calls for the museum project." Martha looked at the woman who had been her best friend for 2 decades, and she didn't blink. "I think I'll stay right here, Sarah. I've decided to do a full audit of my personal and professional assets. It's time to clean house." Sarah's smile faltered for only a microsecond, but to Martha, it was as loud as a siren. The war had begun, and only one of them knew the rules. Martha met with her legal team and a private equity specialist she had worked with years ago. "I don't want to just file a police report," Martha told them, her voice like sharpened steel. "If I do that now, she'll declare bankruptcy in my name, and the banks will come after me for the $4 million. I need to take control of the shadow accounts first. I need to make her secret world my legal world." Her team worked around the clock, using the very identity theft against Sarah. Since the accounts were in Martha's name, Martha technically had the right to reclaim them. Martha used her actual liquid wealth to quietly pay off the arrears on the secret mansion's mortgage and the Porsche lease. She didn't close them. She transferred them into a private trust that only she controlled. But she wasn't finished. She discovered that Sarah owned a boutique PR firm on the side, a firm that Sarah used to funnel the investors Martha had seen at the party. Sarah's firm was drowning in debt, propped up only by the contracts Martha's firm provided. Martha contacted the bank that held the line of credit for Sarah's PR firm. She made them an offer they couldn't refuse. She bought the debt in full. Martha was now Sarah's landlord, her banker, and her boss. Martha waited for the perfect day to strike, the day Sarah was hosting her grand investor reveal at the secret mansion. Sarah had invited 20 of the city's wealthiest developers, promising them exclusive access to Sterling Architecture's future projects. Sarah thought this was the day she would finally secure enough cash to disappear and live as Martha forever. Little did she know, the real Martha had been busy with the paperwork of a different kind of reveal. At 10 a.m., While Sarah was at the salon getting her hair done for the party, Martha initiated the first phase of the liquidation. She called the repo team for the Porsche. She called the locksmiths for the mansion. And most importantly, she called the board members of her own firm. She revealed the forensic evidence of Sarah's embezzlement and identity theft. The board, horrified at the risk to their own reputation, voted unanimously to terminate Sarah and file a civil suit for the return of every cent. By noon, Sarah was a woman without a job, without a car, and legally, without a name. Sarah arrived at her secret mansion in a taxi, her hair and makeup perfect, ready for her big night. But when she tried to use her remote to open the front gates, nothing happened. She stepped out of the cab, confused, and saw a heavy industrial chain wrapped around the gate with a large red notice, "Property seized by owner." Sarah's breath hitched. She tried to call her shadow bank, the one she had used to pay for the house. "I'm sorry, ma'am," the automated voice said. "This account has been closed and the remaining balance transferred to the primary holder." Sarah began to panic. She ran to the garage, but the white Porsche was gone. In its place was a small mocking note on the floor. "The owner has repossessed this asset due to a breach of trust." Sarah stood in her fur coat, in the rain, realizing that her shadow world was melting away. She thought she still had her PR firm, her investors. She scrambled into another taxi, screaming for the driver to head to the city center. She didn't realize that Martha was already sitting in her boardroom, waiting for her to arrive. Sarah burst into her PR firm's office, looking like a cornered animal. She expected to see her staff preparing for the evening's event. Instead, she found the office empty, the computers gone, and the lights dimmed. Only the boardroom at the end of the hall was lit. Sarah pushed the doors open, her heart hammering against her ribs. Where is everyone? What happened to the equipment? She stopped dead in her tracks. Martha was sitting at the head of the table, wearing a charcoal gray suit and a look of chilling indifference. Flanking her were two police officers and the bank manager who had sold Sarah's debt to Martha. "Welcome home, Sarah," Martha said, her voice low and terrifyingly calm. "Or should I call you Martha Sterling? I've been looking over your books. It turns out, you're not a very good businesswoman. You're bankrupt. And since I own your debt, I've decided to liquidate this entire company as of 5 minutes ago." Sarah fell into a chair, her mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. "Martha, please. I was doing it for us. I was building a brand." "You weren't building a brand, Sarah. You were building a cage," Martha said, standing up and walking toward her. She dropped a thick, blue folder onto the table in front of Sarah. "This is the forensic audit. It shows every forged signature, every stolen cent, and every person you lied to while using my name. I've already sent a copy to all the investors you invited tonight. I told them Martha Sterling was looking forward to meeting them, and then I told them who you really are." Sarah began to sob, but they weren't tears of remorse, they were tears of rage. "I hate you. You were always so perfect. You had everything." Martha didn't flinch. "I didn't have everything, Sarah. I built it. You thought you could take the shortcut by stealing my soul. But you forgot that a house built on stolen land will always be reclaimed." One of the police officers stepped forward. "Sarah Vance, You are under arrest for identity theft, grand larceny, and 24 counts of wire fraud. As the handcuffs clicked around Sarah's wrists, the fur coat fell to the floor, looking like the dead weight it truly was. Martha watched as they led her sister away, her face a mask of cold, hard justice. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind of legal battles and reconstruction. Martha was relentless. She didn't just want Sarah in prison. She wanted every trace of the shadow Martha erased from the world. She sold the secret mansion and the luxury cars, but she didn't keep a single cent for herself. She donated the entire $4 million to a foundation that provided legal aid to elderly victims of financial abuse and identity theft. Martha realized that her wealth wasn't her identity. Her resilience was. She returned to her quiet, disciplined life. But she was different now. She was stronger, wiser, and much more careful about who she invited into her sanctuary. She spent her weekends at her small cottage, the one place Sarah never knew about. She realized that you can steal a name, you can steal a credit score, and you can even steal a house. But you can never steal the spirit of the person who earned those things through blood, sweat, and integrity. The shadow Martha was a ghost, and ghosts have no power in the light of the truth. Justice had been served, not with a shout, but with a quiet, calculated, and perfect reclamation. Thank you for watching this story of betrayal and the ultimate reclamation on Revenge Insight. Martha's story is a powerful reminder that the person you trust the most might be the one trying to become you. What did you think of Martha's strategy to buy her friend's debt? Was she right to liquidate everything? Or was 12 years in prison enough for Sarah? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you believe that your name and your integrity are worth fighting for, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more epic stories of justice. Stay wise, stay strong, and always protect your own identity. Until next time.